Welcome to another edition of the Hoop Scoop. I'm Jarret Johnson, and Texas Tech basketball moved up to number 9 in the AP poll this week. Moved up 5 spots from 14 to 9 after defeating Texas at home and West Virginia in Morgantown for just the second time in Texas Tech basketball history. The only other time they had beaten West Virginia in Morgantown was the year the Red Raiders went to the national championship game, which I don't think that's a coincidence. I mentioned that in an earlier video, but now the Red Raiders, they stay on the road. They travel to Norman to play Oklahoma. And, Oklahoma, they're coming off a 9-point loss at Oklahoma State. So Oklahoma has been kind of a disappointment to me. I thought they'd be better than they have been. They're down kind of in the bottom tier of Big 12 standings right now. Of course, Texas Tech still fighting, trying to get back up and compete with Kansas there for a title. But this is the type of game, just like West Virginia was in Morgantown, another team, down lower in the Big 12 standings. This is a game where, look, if you don't play well, you could get beat. And in fact, Texas Tech had a pretty big deficit at one point and was trailing at halftime, but was able to come back and win. Oklahoma, they're a good offensive team, not all that great defensively. They have a big guy in Tanner Groves who transferred in from Eastern Washington this year. He's leading the Big 12 in field goal percentage, 6'10" dude, averages 13 points per game. Oklahoma can do some things or enough things at home to beat Texas Tech. They're hungry for a win. A win over Texas Tech would boost their resume. So the Red Raiders want to stay in the top 10. They want to keep boosting their resume. If they want to really compete for this Big 12 title, they got to handle their business in Norman. That game is set for 8 p.m. Central Time Wednesday night. So I think, Texas Tech, obviously, they're going to play defense. Got to see the health of Terrence Shannon, who returned after, he's had back problems and then he hyperextended his knee, but returned and made some pivotal plays, some big buckets for Texas Tech late in that West Virginia game. And then Adonis Arms, I don't know the stats in terms of if he'll play Wednesday night in Norman, but Coach Adams said the initial x-rays were negative and that he's expecting Arms to be sore, but to be okay overall. So we'll have to see where those two guys are at. But really, it's very similar to how I saw it against, and how Monty Joe and I were talking about when we were previewing the Texas game, is that the Red Raiders have a pretty big advantage on the boards. Oklahoma's not a good rebounding team, even bigger advantage than they did against Texas. I think if the Red Raiders, if they play with their energy, play their defense, hit the boards, it'll be enough as long as they're not just, terrible from the free throw line or something like that. And they've been better. They've done better shooting from the free throw line. They've done better taking care of the ball. And that depth has continued to be developed. A new guy steps up seemingly every game. Last time it was Batcho. Against Texas, it was a couple of people. Davion Warren made some big plays. So, and Kevin McCullough continues to play like one of the best players in the country. Whatever the Red Raiders seem to need, he does. So if Texas Tech just plays with that energy, plays their defense, and pounds the boards, I think they'll win. They'll get another big win. They've won 3 Big 12 games in a row, or three games, kind of the Mississippi State game in a row. I think they've won like 4 or 5 out of 6. So Tech's firing all cylinders. The only real loss here recently was the double overtime at Kansas. So that's how good Texas Tech's playing right now, and they need to keep it going if they want to hit all these goals. So I'm looking forward to seeing which guy steps up that we're not thinking about. Maybe Marcus Santos-Silva, who's been playing really, really well off the bench. Maybe he has a big night stat-wise. Bryson Williams continues to do his thing, one of the leading scorers in the Big 12. I think he was 8th last time I saw going into games Monday night. So, if Texas Tech just does their thing, plays with high energy, then, they should beat Oklahoma. But if they don't play their game, they don't show up, ready to play and with that energy we're used to, then yeah, Oklahoma, the guys like Tanner Groves, they have some other really nice pieces. They'll get a win. They'll be up for this game against Texas Tech. So once again, 8 p.m. Wednesday night in Norman. Can't wait to see what happens. I want to thank you for watching, and until next time.